In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Superglue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and over. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Okay, I'm gonna finally pull up a video.
Okay.
I want to see someone playing it, actually.
All right, we're talking about washers, which is similar to cornhole. Well, what's the main differences?
It's way better.
Use a washer?
Use a washer.
I mean,
like
is the point system kind of similar?
The difference is like from holding hands to having sex. I mean,
that's a big difference.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
elementary school to high school.
That's like still on home base all the way around.
Oh yeah.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
And that's like one extreme.
How's the scoring go?
Right.
Do you still obviously going to put the washer in the hole?
Notches on the bedpost. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's get right into it here. Okay, I see like the board. Oh, okay. So you're the washers are actual like metal
washers.
They're washers. AIH.
Like heavy. Like what diameter? Okay, a 4-inch or so. 3-4 inches.
Like a hockey puck.
Yes.
Okay.
A little bigger.
Okay, I see him.
Okay, so that one only had one hole. Your guys' board had 3
and
holes.
he's drinking Old English. Okay, so
there's 3 holes. 1, 3, and 5 points.
I heard
you have to
there
go to
was
21.
holes.
You have to go out exact, or you start all over. if you
Okay.
over.
Yeah, it looks hard.
And how does the scoring go?
So you have to go to 21.
5.
There's
1,
the
3, 5.
there's
Is it almost like the Chuck E. Cheese game with the balls?
Kind of, except that you throw it more like a frisbee or a.
But I
Like
bet there's
versus-
different
versus
techniques,
like a
right? Some
toss.
people toss, some people frisbee it.
Well, because you could probably get like a dynamic in the game would be like the slide.
It's the slide.
definitely
It's
It's all about the
slide.
slide. Yeah, versus like a.
Let me see that picture.
Cornhole. You kind of, I mean, it slides, but you kind of want the bag to like drain in there versus.
Absolutely. So
Well, that's
it's
turf-ish.
the slide
Yes.
and it,
AstroTurf.
it's
So the box
fling.
is covered in AstroTurf,
Yeah.
and sometimes none of them go in, which is why there's a picture of it.
Does
But
it
you have
slide
to get
off
the slide.
easy?
Oh yeah, it slides off easy.
Slides off
so you
easy.
have to flick it just right. You know.
It's almost like a between, what's that game at the bar where you slide the
Shuffleboard?
shuffleboard and cornhole with a washer?
Correct. And then there's what you call stoplight. So if you get one because you have 3 washers, three throws.
You stand on the box.
One washer
throw.
in each
You
hole.
stand on the box.
Stand
Yeah.
on the box and throw 1, 3, 5.
Okay.
You stand here
If you
and
get
throw 1, 3, 5.
a washer in all 3 holes, it's a stoplight. You automatically win. Or
Oh, really?
all 3 washers in 1 hole,
You win.
automatic.
Yeah.
And then there's also canceling.
Okay.
if
Okay.
you
Okay.
get,
So you
like-
both get
yeah.
in the first hole at 0.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got
And
it.
then you can bust, where
Deletes
you
a
get
point.
really cocky and you think you're going to win, and then you go over and you're back.
Oh, you can't go
She's
over.
talking from experience.
Oh,
Oh,
so
wait,
if
you
you
go
get
o-
to
you go back to
20, if
zero?
you get to 20, you have
You
to go
back
to the first hole.
0.
Oh, damn. So it can be long.
It's intense.
Ah.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've
That
played
sounds
How
fun.
many games,
It does.
Erica?
Last November, when I moved up till Christmas, we played 500.
Wow, that's
God.
sad.
It's a lot.
You guys
Many hours.
it's a life.
Lots of hours.
And then I had foot surgery. So you're supposed to stand on the box and then throw, right? But then I couldn't stand for like 3 months. So then Erica got us chairs, and we'd throw from chairs.
Okay.
And
Which
then
had to be even harder.
So we adapted it.
we adapted to that, and then I
Threw it from
Oh,
here.
oh,
healed,
okay.
and then we went back to standing, and I sucked.
Oh, you messed up all your mechanics.
Yes.
I do not like losing at all.
Yeah.
I was
You can
winning
see it
like
in
the
your
whole time.
eyes.
So do people throw it like this or like the or either way?
Usually like
It's like
this.
a frisbee.
Like a frisbee.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a flick.
And do you hold it or you
Hold it.
You
pinch
fl-
it.
you
like
flick
a
a
pinch,
frisbee.
like a
Imagine it's a
frisbee?
preference there, huh?
It's a flicker.
Yeah.
Technique.
Yeah.
Kind of like a pitcher, like pitch a sidearm.
I,
Yeah.
Erica, I
whatever.
think we found.
I think we found our match.
Oh, we're down to play.
Oh, I'm yeah.
Yeah,
This
we're down to
sounds
play.
Really fun. Do they like sell like a kit that you can get, or it looks like your guys' stuff's homemade?
It
It's
is homemade.
homemade.
Yeah, like made right.
Yeah, my dad made one last summer.
Oh, cool.
Summer before.
2021.
Is there like
Yeah.
a spec to the board?
Yes.
Length, width,
Absolutely.
all that.
Oh, it,
Okay.
yeah.
100%.
all spec,
Rules
all
and shit.
spec.
Okay.
Washers. I
Well, Erica was saying it's big in Texas.
Yes. Our dream is to figure out how
It
to build
should
it.
be bigger in Alaska.
It should be.
Well, they have like cornhole on ESPN,
Yeah.
like the
Right.
championship.
We want to make washers like out of something that's more sustainable, so you could travel with them and take them hunting and not have waterlogged.
Our dream is to be
2,000
good
pound.
enough
Mm-hmm.
to be sponsored and make enough money to support Moose Mamas. That's our goal in life.
that's
That's good.
The pinnacle of Moose Mamas.
Right. But first, we need to build, the reputation to have
as the washer queens.
yes, and to have
I like it,
and to
the
have
washer
like
queens.
competition. Because right now we invite people over and they're like, "You're psycho," and then they leave.
Yeah, you scare them away. Maybe like tone it down a little bit on the new ones, and then
we need help doing that. We don't know how.
Okay.
We're really that excited.
We just go.
Yeah, I'm down to play.
a
That
sprint.
sounds fun. That
does
sounds
sound
like the
fun.
perfect Alaskan like camping game.
big
Oh,
time.
we brought it hunting this year.
Yeah,
You
or
guys should've
hunting or
stopped
fishing.
by.
Oh, you guys had it down
Oh,
there.
and we had lights on it.
What?
And we have
Little
we have
LEDs
a
in 'em?
scoreboard. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have LED ones.
We didn't.
The gray ones are LED. Oh, this is sad.
Did you get
we're
that one?
talking like this.
Did you get that one fixed? I thought it didn't work after we
Okay.
set it. in
Okay,
the
so it
rain.
has
We
to
need
be
a
the
life.
turf.
This is what I've decided.
Is the ones in
After this
Texas on
conversation,
turf?
we need a
That's like
life.
what it is.
I don't know if Texas plays it
I think
right,
it's a great topic.
but according to our rules and the rules that are online,
Okay.
you should stand on the box. Texas doesn't necessarily play on the box.
Yeah, I see hit and miss on like different pictures.
Yeah.
Some people
It's
are,
house
some people
rules.
aren't.
That's
House
it's
rules.
just how
Okay.
it is.
That's
House
it.
rules.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
But I never learned until I came here. And then the people that taught me were trying to tell me it was different. And I was confused.
Nobody knows.
Well, if anyone that's listening and you've heard of this game, Washers, please hit us up. Give us a message on our Instagram because we have some challengers here.
We're gonna get
We have some challenges here, and it sounds like we're gonna set up a tournament. And
I'm putting down money right now.
okay, this is what we do. We set up a tournament. There's an entry fee. We'll do a 50-50. Winners get 50%, and the other 50% goes towards Moose Mamas.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
And see how many people we can get.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep.
Sounds good.
AWP's in the house.
Yeah. Welcome to Alaska Wild Project, episode 85. Today we have Dana, shit.
Whoa.
Dana and Erika from Moose Mamas. I have Moose Mamas, for people that haven't heard, is a organization that basically is trying to take orphan moose and bring them back to life and health, and then re-release them in the wild. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yep. Non-profit, correct?
Non-profit.
Non-profit.
Very non-profit.
Yeah. Well, that was the coolest thing. Like when we met you a few weeks back.
Oh, hold on a second.
We want to get started?
There we go. Now the show can start.
Let it begin.
Caribou call.
Okay. It's like what I took from our like first impression meeting was like your conviction in this and like.
Oh, wait, what? Hunting?
No. In Moose Mamas, the way you explained it, and it was like, oh wow, like this isn't something that like, oh yeah, it's like a little side project that I do. It was like your
my life.
Yeah.
No.
And then the first thing she did, Erika, she gave you guys a shout out. She's like, if it wasn't for my team, if it wasn't for my, everybody that's helped. I mean, like the presentation to me that intrigued me to have you on tonight. I was like, oh my God, we got to help promote and bring some attention to this because you guys are obviously have it established, everything going, but the world needs to know about this, and I think there's a lot of room for assistance for you on this.
Yeah, we're really good at rehabilitating moose calves. Erika's better than me at promoting it.
Well, when I first met you on the trail, for people listening, we were on one of our moose hunts this past fall, and this beautiful lady and her fiance come rolling up with the 4-wheelers, and there's always weirdness when someone's rolling up into your camp. You made it seem at ease, and you brought it up and you showed me the pictures, but I didn't realize like how deep you were in it. I think you just showed me, and I was like, oh, okay, well that's cool that you do that. And then you saw Brandon like the next day.
No, it was just an hour later.
An hour later. Because you guys were coming down there, coming up.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, did you meet Dana? Did you see you guys met her, right? Do you know that? And he explained the whole thing that you told me, and I was like, I don't know if I was like drunk and she told me this, and I totally just was like,
well, you just got done with your guys' day of hunting, right? And just came down and
you're like, you didn't invite her to the podcast? And I was like, I didn't even like think about it. And good thing that he did. And now you're here.
Yeah, that was funny how that worked.
Because you showed me pictures and everything, and I totally just was like, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was more like, what's going on?
It must be my life because, meeting people on a trail hunting, I'm like, oh, look at my baby moose. Look at my pictures. It's really sad. I hope my kids don't listen to this, but I show more pictures of my moose calves than my own
than
kids.
Your babies?
I don't know. That's debatable.
That's debatable. Yeah, so it's a passion.
Yes.
And you guys read into that right away.
Oh man, for sure.
It's a God-given mission, I think. So.
Do you name the calves?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you do. Okay.
Well,
I thought so.
Let's back up a little bit. So I'm curious to know, like, and I wanted to know this right away, and I wanted to ask you beforehand, and I was like, I'll just wait for the show. We'll have time to talk about it. Like, what spurred this? Like, what was the first thing that, like, where this got into your mind? And then,
Yeah, Dana, tell us how you screwed all of us up.
No doubt.
How did you lure all these poor gals into this project?
I think it came before. I think there was a I don't know. Okay, so I grew up in Colorado.
All right.
Been up here 18 years. My uncle was, and my grandfather and my dad, they were all into conservation.
Okay.
My uncle was a hunting guide, one of the best in the state.
Like elk and mule deer and all
Elk
that?
and deer. He had Unit 2 and 11 in Colorado. If you're from Colorado, you know where those are. If there was a governor's tag, you called my uncle.
Okay. Those are like those blue chip.
Or you couldn't
Trophy
put
spots.
your hands around the girth of the bottom of the elk.
Wow.
Trophies.
Yeah.
So I grew up hunting, living off the land. But then I also, around the dinner table, like, how are we going to help the antelope population, the elk population, the mule deer? My uncle reestablished the wild turkey population in Western Slope, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
There's pictures of him with little tiny crates with little turkeys. He died the day after my birthday, visiting me on a motorcycle, and he never got to see me do moose mamas.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's would be
Watching.
so proud and watching me do this,
Yeah.
And I always like, you should see my moose crates, man. I kick your turkey crates ass.
Right.
So I guess the
So conservation
it was embedded. It was embedded
Yeah.
in my life, and I didn't realize it. I became a chef for 15 years. Had kids. Went, wow, chef's not really good with kids, nights and weekends. That's out. So I went into marketing just because I'm a nerd behind the computer, do graphic arts. And I got hired by the Alaska Moose Federation in 2012, I believe. And they're the ones that tried this program first.
Okay.
They did the diversionary routes. They tried the orphaned moose calf program. Great ideas. Didn't really work out for them. As hard as they tried, Gary Olson was the founder. Huge heart. He just passed away last year.
What year was that? When that was up and running and you were working for them? When was that?
2012.
Okay, I feel like I remember hearing about that.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
They were actually, the front line.
Existed for like 10 years or so?
Oh, no, they only did the calves for a couple years. They didn't have very much luck. Gary Olson was the founder. Great heart. He passed away unexpectedly last year. He's the reason I'm sitting here today. But he had all these wonderful ideas. It didn't always pan out, financially or, and I started helping them with marketing. Well, Gary took me out to see, they had a couple moose calves at the time. They were trying it out, and of course I fell in love. I'm a chick, right? Like, look at these babies.
Baby moose. Oh, they're the cutest things ever.
But I got it, understood. I'm a hunter. I get why we're trying. And it wasn't working out. The next year I don't think they were going to get permits. They were out of funding. I'm like, I can't let this die.
Yeah.
So I just started doing a bunch of research. Is this worth it? I'm a realist. I get it. A lot of people judge me like, what's a few moose calves going to do to our moose population? I get it. I get judged on that all the time.
Yeah.
But the more research I did, and Fish and Game themselves did a research project called the Moose Web. When you take a female moose and she twins conservatively every other year, if they're in good habitat, they'll twin every year. I have twins. I was in good habitat. And her average lifespan of 15 to 18 years, if she lives 15 years, her bloodline in 15 years is 720 moose.
Whoa.
Wow.
And
One?
Mm-hmm. So in 15 years, that's 720 moose, okay?
So they really spawn. They really like,
Yeah. Like kind of like rabbits, right?
yeah.
So we don't want those on the road system. I know we like seeing moose in town on the way to school, on the way to work, but that's not where we need them.
Yeah. It's not safe for them or us.
Correct. So I'm like, I can't let this die. So I talked to Fish and Game. I got a board of directors. I started doing more and more research. And honestly, I just kind of learned as I went. And I do honestly believe it's a maternal program where I have veterinarians that work with me. They're like, what do you think, Mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've had a lot of success.
Is there did you take any inspiration or learn anything from maybe some other groups in maybe Canada or other places where there's moose, Maine?
Absolutely not. They actually call me.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
But when you first started, was there anyone else that was doing anything like that? Really?
No, like asserted
nothing.
like conservation efforts really that were going on.
Nothing.
But now I bet there's others, and you're like the lead
Yeah,
dog to go.
I started a worldwide moose calf coalition.
Oh, wow.
I had Russia Conservation Center call me about, 4 years ago. Hello, we hear you're moose guru. We have 2 new moose cubs.
Yeah.
They'll call me at 3:00 in the morning from Canada. There's about 4 places in Canada that call me, and I just wanted us to all be on the same page, and collaborate with each other. And it's very humbling because for the first 5 years I was doing this, I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
And
keep getting
everyone's
deeper and
calling me
deeper and
going,
deeper.
what do we do?
Yeah, what
I'm
do we
like,
do?
Try this. And
Yeah.
it worked. And like I said, it's very maternal. You just need to know your babies.
Well, I think it's inspiring for you, like what you said there. Like, a lot of people hesitate to start new things, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube channel or conservation or anything, because they just don't really know what to do. And what people don't realize is that the majority of people that jump into these things and make these things successful, they don't know what they're doing in the beginning. They just start doing it. And then from there, you learn, you make mistakes, you adapt. And then from there, you become more knowledgeable and you become more better at what it is. And then from there, you can help other people that are looking to get into similar things.
Well,
and
it's about your support team too, right? Like Erika coming in.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it
I
without
mean,
these
she's your
interns.
right hand, left hand,
Yeah, I've had over 27, 30 interns, and Erika's top notch.
Yeah.
And speaking of knowing nothing, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What spurred you to get into this? I mean, did you get a hold of her? Did she get a hold of you? Did you reach out to her?
I got a hold of Dana, and then
Yeah.
she sucked me in. Cute little moose.
It's like, oh, look at these pictures.
I teach middle school
Okay.
PE.
Oh,
and
sweet.
Where at?
I'm at Clark.
Clark.
I'm at Wonder Park.
what?
This year. Yeah.
East
Yeah.
Side?
So I'm teaching at Clark. I subbed at South, but so I decided during COVID to get my master's.
Oh, wow.
And because I thought, well, I might as well
Plenty of time
get
anyway,
paid
huh?
more for doing the same job that I'm already doing, and
Okay.
I'm teaching online and
Good
doing my
for you.
master's. And I fell in love with moose when I took kids camping in 2008.
Okay.
And 3 moose walked right through our site, and I was like, "Hey, come on, guys, get closer." And
Which we do not
our leaders
recommend to people.
were like, "Hey, go away, come back." And I'm like, "Dude, this is sweet."
Yeah.
And so Danny yells at me all the time about getting too close to the moose. I should have a fear, but it was too late. And magic is real, and moose bring people together. So fell in love with the moose and was sitting on my couch, needed an internship for my master's, and was looking at moose because it'd been 2 years since I'd gotten to do anything outside or in the mountains. We have moose in Minnesota, but I've never seen one.
And they're smaller.
And
Are
there's-
those the Shira? Is that
Shiraz.
Shira?
Shiraz. Moose.
Shiraz? I've been saying Shira forever.
We have the
Tomato,
Alces gigas, which is giant of the moose. Because
We
we're
do.
Alaska.
The Yukon.
I think we just have the one like subspecies here. We don't. The Alaska Yukon is the one, but like Maine and then Minnesota, they're different,
Eastern
like,
Canada.
subspecies,
Yeah,
right?
Minnesota really doesn't have.
They're,
I think
they're
we have
junior moose.
2,000 total, maybe.
Oh, like head count of actual animals.
Yeah, the ticks are getting them, and it's just not as cold.
Maybe we
Do they
should
even
bring
have a
Alaska
season?
moose there.
So
Yeah, that's a great
See how it
idea.
does. Yep.
we thought
That's
about
a great
it.
idea.
We dreamt about it. We dreamt about having moose mamas in multiple places. So I needed a internship for my master's.
Okay.
And
wow.
saw Dana Moose Mamas, and so I Googled subsistence lifestyle and tried to answer all her questions.
That
and
was
then
one of my questions.
just said, "Hey, I went to Colorado one summer and I saw 69 moose and it was really cool." And then she called me, and we hit it off pretty much immediately, and started dreaming about all the things Moose Mamas could be and how to connect people and giving just a second chance at life, because that's probably the coolest thing. I mean, you talked a little bit about the inspiration of Dana and just giving hope to a dream that you never thought was possible. and I never thought I'd be here. And quit my job for 3 more days with the moose to release them, and then ended up moving up. I've only been here a little over a year to do the moose thing. So conservation is cool and huge, and nature was a big thing growing up for me, but the power of nature with people and just the conversations Dan and I have had with so many people just through Moose Mamas has been life-changing.
Yeah.
And giving people a chance to, I mean, we joke that people just come over to say hi, and then 3 hours later or 6 hours later, they leave and they've told us their entire life story, and we're not really sure what happened.
Just like connects people.
Next thing you know, you're playing.
You're playing washers?
You're playing washers.
Hey, why don't you come try this game over here? How much money you got?
We tried a second one. I think the coolest thing is just the analogy of these calves, the second chance of life. We had Covenant House come bring
some of the kids.
A few of the kids that were old enough to come volunteer for the day, and you don't want to come out and say it, to them, but you're saying, hey, these calves are orphaned. They need a second chance, but if
make it relatable.
I made it relatable to them, and it was really, they asked really great questions, these kids.
Yeah.
And it was a real eye opener, and to us it's more, of course it's about the moose.
But it's not about the moose.
But it's not about the moose. It's about the people that these moose calves bring together.
Yeah.
My interns that I have every year, they become my kids.
I bet.
Yeah.
And they keep getting younger, but I think I'm just getting older. Sucks.
I felt I was the oldest intern you had.
Oldest intern. They're usually going into wildlife biology or pre-vet.
Well, what a cool opportunity that you're allowing or you're opening up for them.
Well, we're putting
to
them
have
on the map.
Hands-on experience. I mean, this is just not shit you can watch in a YouTube video or read in the book, which is all good experience too, but to actually get your hands on these critters.
There isn't a book. There isn't YouTube.
Not on this
there's nothing. When you're Googling moose, you're trying to there's nothing out there really.
I've had pre-vet students that have interned here, and they go back to finish their degree, and they're like, hey, I'm doing my thesis on moose calves. What research is there up? I'm like, whatever you wrote down, dude.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have a random kind of question. I was just thinking about this. When someone raises or helps raise some sort of a lion or something like that, and they release them into the wild, have you ever encountered one of your babies in the wild and it recognizes you?
No, and it sucks. No, just kidding. That's what we want.
That'd be wild,
moose are different as far as other wildlife. A lot of people ask us that question because they are domesticated when we have them for 4.5, 5 months. Mm-hmm. They are our babies. They'll, they follow us around.
Reliant on you.
And so when we release them, they actually revert back to being wild almost immediately. And I've actually proven that time and time again. We fly them out across the inlet. We don't release them here in Anchorage, where we have
You're
too
not
many.
a Kincaid
dropping
them off.
No. It's
so
a specific drop location for the greater good of population growth.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And so we knock them out, put them in an airplane, fly them across the inlet. One day we dropped 4 off. We're coming back for 4 more. Weather, how it is in Alaska. Weather came in, we couldn't fly. So next day we flew 4 more back out. And I was calling my babies by name, right?
Okay.
And usually they come, if they're in the pens, they come running to you.
Yeah.
And I called for them, and I saw a couple of them come out of the woods. They looked at me and split, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
24
that.
hours. So out of 8 years of releasing calves, I track them. I know right where they're at, and I've never been able to approach one.
Wow.
Bastards.
So they just kind of
mission successful.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I bet you feel something
Nice.
like
Well said,
there's
Eric.
no
That's your
Christian
baby.
the Lion reunion scene.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's
I mean,
great.
that's a good
because,
thing. That's a good
you know,
thing.
if hunters could put on a blonde wig and go, come here. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Come over here, Sammy.
Well, and it would be, it's just like I'm not a parent, but I felt like I learned a lot. I respected my parents a lot more, and just all the things that come into being a parent, and the sacrifice and the love and the grief that you have to go through that you don't anticipate, or I didn't anticipate coming up to take care of something that you're like, oh, it's just an animal. Like it's not your cat, it's not a dog, it's
the eyes, man.
it's a part of you. And you know, I would go on vacation, like my parents came up to visit, and I was gone for like 3 days, and I'd be like, somebody feed them? Are they okay?
Yeah. You're
Just
almost,
checking
you're
in.
almost losing sleep over it.
Yeah. It was
Oh, yeah.
like, I'm not even going
Yeah.
on vacation. And they'd be like,
I
get
tell-
out of here, Eric. And I'd be like, no.
I tell the
gotta
interns
stay.
that over there every year. At the beginning, they're like, so do we get vacation or time off? I'm like, you do, but you won't want it. And they're like, what? Until they figure it out. They're like, we're not leaving
They
these
get
guys.
attached. Yeah.
And you're feeding them every 3 hours.
And they get attached to you too. So it's not like,
Oh, I
It's
bet.
a mutual thing.
yeah.
I bet. So how do you procure the babies? How does this happen? Like, do you get a call, like a mom
Yeah,
died?
give us a rundown.
Yeah,
on
how does
that.
it, like, how do you get one?
You get them in
So,
April and May, right? You get
Day
them
in the life of a
spring.
moose mama.
Yeah, there we go.
Starts out end of May, early June, where, you know, you're waiting for the snow to melt to get everything up and ready before the calves are born. It's always a panic.
You're setting up
And-
all the pens. You're putting the bear boards on.
yeah.
So
all the work that nobody sees.
Seasonal preparation behind the scenes.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah, going on.
For sure. So then when calving season starts, you start getting calls from the public, typically. You know, we were out, we saw a baby by themselves.
Okay.
Facebook posts.
You start
drop
getting
pins.
reports.
Yeah. So we get reports. We can't, in the state of Alaska, it's weird. We can't rescue without permission.
Yeah, you can't just like go out with your equipment and like go wrangle one up.
Yeah, we're like the only state that doesn't allow that.
Okay.
So we get permission from Fish and Game. They usually go out and assess the situation.
Oh, so you got to wait on them and their
Gotta
time.
wait on them.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, their resources aren't just ready at the
Yeah.
drop of a hat always to do that, right?
Yeah. So
It's more 9 to 5 and we're 24/7.
yeah, and moose
good answer.
calves don't really look at the clock and
Well, and they
you know.
don't have a lot of time either, right?
It's usually the weekends when people are out and spot them, which you know the department's closed. So we're working on that
Yeah.
partnership.
Or like is there permitting? Maybe like
we-
a like specialized, almost like customized permit that we could almost
We're working.
propose that would give you the right, like you and your license, like
Yeah. Well,
You know, to
when
do
our
something like
when our
that?
governor Dunleavy was a senator, he actually passed it through legislation that there should be more cooperation with that. So
okay.
we're getting there.
Yeah, at least it's a conversation and
It's a
something that's-
conversation, and
yeah.
we've rescued a fair share of our own, which we're pretty darn good at.
The hard part is everybody supports it, but they don't want everybody to just be able to do it.
Which it should
Which
be
makes
that way.
sense.
It should be hard.
It should be hard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it
You
also
should be a
shouldn't
licensed,
be
certified like person.
After
Yeah.
8 years, I think we've maybe proven that. Anyway,
If anybody knows how to do it, yeah.
right.
that. Well,
so-
the hard part is if we're not operating, then no one's doing it.
Well,
And so-
there
Yeah.
just needs to be new policies. Policies in our state are different than laws and statutes. Policies can go in a binder, put on the shelf, taken out, and changed.
Yeah. Yeah, good
And
point.
it always depends on who's commissioner, who's the wildlife director. Anyway, so we're doing good. We have a great relationship with Fish and Game every other month, and no, we do
Sounds
good.
like a marriage.
Right? It's like hugging a porcupine like that. I love them. They hate me. No, just kidding. No, so we get calls from Fish and Game. We get calls from state troopers, the public, and it's you know, it's a partnership. It's everyone coming together to do the right thing. And then so what it's like, or either we go rescue one, we go pick one up that they've rescued, and it's always in
Big
an
meaning
extra
like, the
large
department?
dog crate. Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't want them to get hurt. So the
Extra large dog kennel.
kennel,
Didn't
Like
say
like
kennel.
a metal cage style
Like
kennel.
you put in a
It's
Yeah.
plastic with the door.
Oh, the big
metal door.
Okay, yeah.
You don't want them to stand up. You want them to sit down because then if
That's
they
a small
stand up,
space.
they hurt themselves.
Yeah.
But they're
Smaller, the
small.
better.
They're 25 pounds ish.
25
when they're
pounds.
babies.
Way baby. Yeah.
So we go pick them up. We take them to the facility. We give them a little time. They're wild.
Yeah.
They're wild animals.
And back up just a little bit. So this is a combination of like automobiles hitting moose, maybe like a mother just didn't survive. She spit them out, but then couldn't recover. Right? Like there's a numerous.
Yeah,
like,
within city limits on that.
Okay.
Typically, it's human caused.
All right.
So-
That's what I figure in the city for sure. There's got to be like
we don't
majority
go
of it's
out
got
to
to
the
be
bush and mess with nature. It's usually in,
okay.
You know,
that helps narrow
in-
things down a little bit. Because I
every-
wondered if you get calls from Fairbanks and other places too.
Or
If
what
it's
you
mainly,
said?
like-
Some of them gotten like stuck in a fence, so still human.
Yeah,
Fence-
human impact.
fences,
in-
roads,
yeah.
dogs,
Okay.
collisions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
So then we pick up the calf, bring it back to the facility. Then it's called Fence 101. These are wild animals. They've never been in a fence. Now they're enclosed, and it's a big enclosure, but it never fails. It's called Fence 101. They rub their heads along the chain link and try to get out. And
Naturally. Yeah.
and then the process of basically breaking them.
Domesticating them.
Domesticating them. And I know a lot of
Getting the
people judge that,
routine.
like, don't domesticate a wild
And they
animal.
miss their mom.
They miss their mom. They're very social.
Well, I was just thinking about like a moose calf is so like pure and like any infant, right? Like it's so like it has no experience. It has no like natural instincts that it's developed yet. Like it's 100% dependent on the nutrition from the mom, the touch, the communication, and it's like a learning lesson 24 hours for a moose, right? And so
Yeah.
they kind of get thrust into now a domesticated
Yeah.
type atmosphere. So it's just like
Yeah.
totally kind of like curbs nature.
Well, this
hard,
the
right? Like-
younger we get them, the easier.
Okay.
The less
Yep.
time with mom, the easier they are.
Yep.
And they're all different. They're like humans. They have different personalities. We'll get
bet.
some that you rescue and they're like sitting there like wagging their tail like, come get me. you
Yeah.
know? And then there's ones, that are running the Glen Highway and APD is calling us like, help us get these out at 3:00 in the morning. And they're bolting. And
Are you tranquilizing them to get them
no,
into the...
can't. We don't do that. Especially in the Glen. You miss.
Yeah.
Hit someone.
Yeah.
3:00 in the morning. APD calls us. We're in there 15 minutes. Rescued some twins.
Oh, is that from
those
the
were a
fence?
little
Oh, it
harder.
rubs the head right there. Okay.
We named those Run and Evade. Some of them are harder
Yeah.
to capture.
Some of them are more stubborn than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the hardest part is to get them to take a bottle.
Oh, wow.
So
the
we
food
have.
part.
And I'm proud to say, in the entire world, we're the best at getting them to take a bottle.
It looks like an aggressive exchange, not saying you're being aggressive with the animal. It's just, I'm sure once they know that that's nutrition and food, they I'm sure like they are where they're competing with their brother or sister.
Yeah.
They're fighting for that access. And so watching some of your videos, I mean, they're aggressive,
Yeah.
like on you guys.
One of the
They're
most
strong.
abused
Strong.
things in the entire world is a moose tit.
Oh,
Say that again? What'd you say?
the most abused. I'll let you say. You say.
I said one of the most abused things in the entire world is a moose tit.
Okay, I thought that's what you
So
said.
I was out looking. I was behind Ted Stevens and I
That's the
saw
aggression I was talking about.
I saw a cow and she had two twins. And this was like 2 weeks ago, and they were nursing.
Way too old to be nursing.
And I was
Oh,
like,
they're pretty
holy
big by then.
smokes.
have you
And I
ever
was
seen
like,
in the airport like a 5-year-old nursing?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
it always kind of throws you off. You're like,
it's
whoa.
awkward.
I was
if they
like,
can walk, they
Dana,
shouldn't be
this
nursing.
is weird. Like,
They can ask
isn't
for
it
it.
too old?
Way
But
too
they were
old.
Yeah, I've
just
seen that.
pulling down. It was.
Oh,
when they're
man.
saying "Mama, I want."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want some milk.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that.
but I just saw a cow and a calf yesterday, and the calf is got size to it now. Like it's
500 pounds.
Yeah, it's not like it's not
a baby anymore.
I mean, to get to the tit, they got to like a way like
kneel down.
Oh yeah, it's
put their elbows
awkward.
down.
Right? It's awkward right now.
Oh,
they
my
need to
goodness.
cut that off right now.
So how late does it go? Like, where is it? The line is drawn where now the moose has a better chance of like surviving on its own.
So with the state of Alaska, the cutoff for rescuing is July 4th.
Oh, it's a date.
There's a
Yeah,
date.
I figured there has to be a maturity level where it's kind of like, that thing might still be able, even though a calf loses its mom in August, that thing ain't going to survive the winter. No freaking way. I wouldn't think so.
I feel like it depends on the size of the calf. Like,
Yeah.
there's some calves that you've seen that you're like,
I've
oh,
proven
there's no
myself
way.
wrong. Like 8 years ago, I'd been jumping up and down like there's no way. But they are tougher than you give them credit for.
Sure.
And I've tried to rescue calves like mid-July. Holy crap.
They're big. They're big.
Oh, they
and
probably,
they're wild.
there's no cooperation whatsoever
Well,
with them.
they're way more wild. They've been with their mom, and they've got a mean left hook. Man,
I would
Oh,
say
that-
if
kick
they're,
the snot out of you.
I mean, I've gotten kicked in the face twice.
What? You never told me that.
I did too. I have it on video.
I had her sign a waiver.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Just in
there's
case
no
you
insurance.
break your jaw.
Okay, don't pull it in a claim.
No, he just got excited and stuck his foot up there. But
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Just an
like we
accidental.
had it over the, like, once they get big, we don't stand there and just in the
Okay.
open. We have
Yeah,
it in a bottle feeder.
I made
Oh,
bottle
okay.
feeders.
Gotcha.
So they'll just
Yeah.
beat the crap
So
out
it
of
was
you.
just over the fence, and he just got super stoked. And
And we wear hockey gear.
There you go.
We do
Good.
now.
Good.
No,
You should.
I
No.
saw the videos.
What's
I mean,
what's
a
in the
helmet
bottle?
with a face mask might not be a bad
So
idea.
they start off like at 2 ounces.
But what
Well,
is it?
Oh,
Oat
the
milk? What do you got in
substance
there?
itself.
Hold
Oh.
up. Before they even take the bottle, when they're in the fence 101, it's a crawl.
Yeah, back up a little bit.
And it's a sit and wait and pretend you're
we've-
not looking
we've got
at
it
them.
down. We've got
and
it
then
down.
crawl a little bit. And
We train
Oh,
people
because
in
they're
Canada how
so
to do it.
timid. Like they don't.
Dana's son Cole is like amazing at it.
He's the moose whisperer.
But you have to sit there
Oh.
and wait and pretend that you're not there for the calf. And
It's
eventually,
hilarious.
Do you think
Someone
they
should
sense
video
that he's a
this.
child and he's like,
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and
they,
he's
like,
been doing
there's
it
that
for
connection
since he was
or
like
something?
So
a wee little
keep
lad.
going, Erica. So you have to
so
wait.
you're sitting waiting and you just sit in there in the pen and then
holding
you
the
just
bottle.
get used to them, and you have a bottle. You might put a little banana on the top, and you just
Something start
slowly
luring them
crawl. Well, they don't come to you. You have to go to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But eventually, they get used to your presence in the pen, and
Okay.
then I mean, we didn't have a bottle maybe for the first
It takes 2 or 3 days at least.
couple days
Wow.
while we're there, and then all of a sudden you're like, Cole sends a text, and he's like, "I'm really close," and you're like, "Okay, I'm warming up a bottle," and then you try to get it to him without freaking him out.
You
by
wait till they're
entering in
asleep,
through the pens and
and then you like inch your way to them,
Mm-hmm.
and then they open their eyes, and then you like pretend like you're not moving.
pretend like you were never
Really?
there.
Like a
It's
stock.
lot
Do you
of
do you
patience.
avoid eye contact?
Definitely.
Like just kind of like always kind of facing away, or just never really like
I
looking at
don't.
them?
I look them straight in the eyeball.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
She's like, I'm your mom.
You're trying to get podcast vision here or something.
No, Cole is the best though.
So I would think
that's
that
cool.
by they're there for 3 days and they haven't eaten yet. They're
Oh, they
probably
gotta
like
be
starving.
famished.
And then they're crying, and they're doing
Yeah.
the Fence 101 hardcore.
Oh,
Just yeah.
Pathetic.
I mean, it's got to be stressful.
Yep.
I mean,
but
for
I
you
bet
guys,
once
for
they
sure.
eat it, they're just like, oh,
Well, and
That's
Dana
what they're
always
trying to
says the
do.
first calf is the saddest one because they're alone and they miss their mom. And so then as soon as the second one comes,
They're
Oh,
very
now there's
social.
some camaraderie.
Oh, they
then
have
it's
some
like,
friends.
oh, well, you're here, so it's fine.
The
and then
first one's
he
the most
sees him
important.
drinking. He's like,
Right.
oh, well, okay. Then
Absolutely.
we
they
joke
start
about how
connecting
they're
it.
going to like meet in the wild and be like, oh, how'd you get here? And then they'll be like, oh, yeah, we were at this really great place. Why'd we ever leave?
yeah.
See how big I am right now?
Now inside the bottle, is that something you don't want to say what it is? Is that a
No,
propriety?
we can say because they don't make it anymore.
Oh.
They do, but it was.
Is it the orange
during-
powder milk I used to have when I was a kid with the girl in the box?
So
No.
orphan moose calves.
Some quick or what?
Some strawberry.
The
Strawberry quick.
best thing that ever happened to this program was COVID, because
I
Weird.
came.
There's a lot of good things that
Because
happen
I came.
from COVID,
That's
actually.
why.
that too.
All right.
So this
The second best thing.
the state gave me a protocol of what to feed them, which is great. Really expensive. And these buckets that
Like
I would go
everything
through,
that's
50 of them a season, they were like $136. I would get $10,000 for the formula.
Yeah.
And you go up 2 ounces, they'd have scours. It was so stressful. So during COVID, I went to order and they were gone.
Oh, you couldn't get it.
I was freaking out.
This was my first job as an intern.
I found one bucket on eBay for $400. I'm like, this is not happening. So I went old school. I did cow's milk from Costco and some
Lamb replacement from Minnesota.
Lamb replacement.
Lamb
that-
replacement?
Was
Yeah.
that your connection, Erica?
No, it's just made in Minnesota. So I was like, oh, look at that.
look at
What
Minnesota
does that
coming through.
mean?
It's like what you would give lamb. It's a powder you mix with
okay.
water, and I did a 1-to-10 ratio. Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
But-
Do
Yeah.
not try.
Delete the
Do,
one to.
do become an intern and donate.
There you go. And it worked. Biggest, best calves, no scars, healthiest thing.
They were huge.
Yeah, we'll
Just
never use
pure
anything
nutrition for them.
The last
awesome.
bottle was what, 72?
else. Oh, yeah. We started at 2 ounces, ended up at 72 ounces.
Yeah, I think we felt bad because we had to bring him back to Anchorage
Yeah.
after the
Have you ever
release.
Have you ever gotten your hands on the real deal? Like
The real milk?
like
milk?
the milk, like milk a cow. And that sounds kind of silly now that I think about it.
Well, maybe.
Like
Have the-
real milk.
number one, dude,
from,
you
like,
know,
I
They
told you
actually
it was
milked a
the
cow,
most
yeah.
abused thing as a
Yeah.
Now I think
Moose
about it,
nipple.
like who's
I ain't
milked a
touching
cow? Like
Well,
a
lots of people milk the
moose,
cow.
a
Cow moose. Yeah.
It's like that's a really dumb
Well, maybe
question.
in
I
like
thought about it, but then I
the
wonder.
zoos
maybe
and
if
stuff.
somebody has, they could, shout
Yeah,
out
holler
to the
back.
podcast.
Holler back. If you got
Yeah,
some
I
of that
just-
moose milk, we're looking for some.
Some moose
Analyze
milk.
it. Well,
That's all right. You guys
because
made your own custom moose milk.
some people
Yeah.
have asked if cows would adopt a calf.
A
Right.
moose cow.
Oh.
No.
If a cow would adopt a baby moose,
Been there, done that. They beat the crap out of them.
the cow beat the crap out of him?
Yeah.
Oh, it wouldn't have it.
That
Oh, it
maybe
doesn't-
will happen one every 100.
She doesn't take.
Yeah.
No, she not.
What if you
not
domestic-
just
what
doesn't
if you
take, she
d-
kills
oh.
them.
Oh wow.
Okay, so at what point, how big do they get before it's like, all right, you're too big for the pen, it's time to release you? Is that
Yeah,
a date?
they really become teenagers. They start really playful at 25 pounds. August they start becoming teenagers. They don't play. They don't cuddle like they used to. They just want to be alone in their rooms.
But we made a cool video when I
Come
quit my
October,
job.
we want to break the plate.
Yeah.
So they go from 25 pounds to 450.
That was our last
Oh,
bottle.
Shit, those are big ones.
So they
Can you airdrop them to me so I can put it on the TV?
they,
Sure can.
they grow at 5%
It's,
of their own
soiled
body weight
seed,
per day.
I think is what it is.
Oh wow. So there's
They'll gain 10 pounds a day.
wow.
10
So
pounds a
some
day?
Of some of that mama's milk.
I got Brandon's iPhone or Daniel's MacBook Air.
Daniel's MacBook Air, please. We'll put this picture up for those of you.
Oh,
I-
that's okay. Dan.
I've never
I didn't
gotten
check
hurt
with
by
you.
one.
Yeah.
By a moose?
Good piece of wood to knock on there.
That's a nice table.
Yeah. That, man, I'm trying to like, as we're having this conversation, I'm like imagining just the physical like space of being with a pretty good sized moose. I mean, they're a pretty big intimidating animal. And yeah, they're wild. Like they're dependent on you and they probably get that attachment going, but at the same time it's like
They were
it's-
ready to leave.
Yeah, they get ready.
Oh, do they
For
really?
sure. For sure.
Okay. They start feeling like the space is too small for me. I need to like range and go do my thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and their personality changes.
They're just ready to go.
What's
Hormones kick in.
What's the
and-
first sign? Like where's like
They start getting aggressive with each other over browse.
getting
We call
impatient?
their trees and their leaves and branches that we get, which they'll eat 50 pounds of leaves each a day.
Wow.
So if next time, like next spring or summer, just pick
Or even right now.
pick up a leaf. Remember that I said 50 pounds of those.
So how do you guys procuring those?
So we have to get truckloads a day because
Maybe a deal with some of the tree companies and they bring you guys.
DOT loves that we cut on the right of ways because the new growth along the highways. Moose are attracted to because that has the most nutrients. So I always say, instead of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, we're saving 2 moose with 1 pair of clippers.
There you go.
So they're not getting close to the road, and we're feeding our babies. But it takes a lot. I love getting browse. It's called the browse runs.
Browse runs.
I really missed it. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Let's do it.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan-proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier Gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com. Yeah, that is a lot of greenery. And those are willows or alders?
Willow, birch, aspen, cottonwood.
And they love it all.
So we're playing a video for people that aren't watching on YouTube.
Favorite?
Willow.
It's showing basically in a huge, I would say like the back of a huge pickup truck.
It's a trailer.
To the to the top, full of trees with leaves. And I think that's willows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Well, we get a little of
Aspen.
everything because it's the Ramada Inn for moose.
Yeah.
A variety.
Well, you want to introduce them to what they're going to
They get a buffet.
Their options.
Buffet.
Oh, that's really cool. You're simulating their actual natural food source.
Yeah, so they
you
can
should tell
choose.
them about that one story about the leaves when that lady called you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so funny.
Oh, it's so funny. So this lady called me one day. She says, "Yeah, back in the '60s, the state let me have a calf, right? And it was so cool. I just had to call and tell you, I know what you're going through. I had one baby, but that's it. But the hardest part was getting down on my hands and knees and chewing the leaves to show them how to eat." And I literally bit my lip, and I didn't want to say anything, but you don't have to show them.
Yeah.
That's next level dedication.
They know how to
show
eat
these
leaves.
things how to eat.
Yeah, God just kind of gave that to them. They know how to eat leaves.
Well, she didn't know.
She didn't know. I hope
mean?
she doesn't listen to this because it's going to burst her bubble. But
Well, you see videos of old school Alaskans trying to domesticate moose and ride moose like horses and stuff like that. Is that just impossible?
No, they've tried it. And in fact, they've actually tried to do it in war. Where they were domesticating moose to ride out into battle because they're bigger than horses. They got rocks, right?
Yeah.
But they're not herd animals. So it really didn't work when they ran out to the field because they were
you couldn't coordinate them and get them
they
running
all
a lot.
just ran different directions.
Yeah.
I would think too, personality-wise, you might get one that would maybe do that, but
Yeah,
the
that would
majority
actually
of them, they're all so different that they'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I haven't
every
tried
year
it.
there's something new. Every year.
Yeah. Do you notice too, there's obviously similarities in their, their behavior trends, but like in general, like they are all different, like aggression levels, different. Some learn faster than others. I mean, like
Probably just like kids, like your own
Yeah.
kids.
I mean, I just think, man, it's like a moose seems kind of like it has like it's wired like three ways, right? It's either eat, run away, or reproduce. Like it's just like it does those three things, right? But
All within 30 seconds.
these guys here, they have a really challenge. They have a huge challenge because they have to go from wild to domesticated back to wild. Like it's a whole.
They seem to do just fine.
Well, that seems to be like the big battle that people are struggling with understanding, and I feel like I don't know. Dana could say it until she's blue in the face, and I maybe would have been a little skeptical too. But I was like, moose are cool, and I just want to be around them, so whatever. But that they do, like, it's just how it works out, and so I don't know. I like to go back to the purpose of why we're here.
Yeah.
If you don't give them a chance, they're dead.
Yeah.
So
There's
Right.
a lot of research. Well, not a whole lot doing what we're doing. We have the most research, but I think it comes down to a lot simpler than research in your data books. And
Yeah.
God made them that way.
Yep.
It's the answer.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
and just survival. Like, you want to survive, so this is your option.
Yeah.
Your only option to survive is to be taken care of by us, and then we let you go live your best moose life out in the
Live your best moose
last
life.
frontier. I mean, we release
Moose
these guys
lives matter.
into
Moose lives matter.
mountainous and lake. I mean,
How big is the facility, and is there like room for growth?
oh, look at that.
Well, wow, you just answered. That's
Yes.
a big question.
Let's
Right now, we
talk
don't
about
have
that.
a facility.
Oh, you're in between looking for something?
Yeah, we're looking for something. So typically it's about 2.5 acres.
Okay.
Okay.
The pens themselves are about 400 linear feet. Could be bigger.
So you have all your
We have all the
equipment and
equipment,
materials
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff to put. You just need a land
place.
mass.
We're looking for I-1, I-2, B3, B4 within Anchorage city limits.
But remember, we don't want them to be on the road, and we're not necessarily open to the public.
And we have no money.
And we have no money.
Oh,
Yeah.
strike
Looking-
three.
A lot of challenges there.
Oh, well, yeah, that was actually one of my other questions. If you had a facility, there was never ever tours or field trips or things like that open to the public?
Not at this time because they are release animals. My dream is to have a viewing area,
Okay.
where you can see them, they can't see you.
Okay.
Like at the zoo, when you're looking at the aquarium,
Like one-way
right?
glass.
The whales are swimming underneath, and
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
didn't
guess
know
they can
that they
still
can't
see
see
you.
you.
They can still see you, probably. I don't know.
Where are their whales?
Now, what's the reason of that? Because they will
In not
maybe
Alaska.
be too domesticated? Like you just
In Alaska,
less,
you
less
just have the
human
ocean.
interaction?
Yes.
Okay.
Because then you'd be domesticating them. So just like
We don't know the answer to that question
yeah.
because
That's a fair answer.
but we don't know
Yeah, we don't know.
if it affects them.
The assumption is that you would domesticate them, and then they would be too used to humans and hanging out.
Okay, gotcha.
But
But we don't know.
Cordova, 65 years ago, they took 24 calves over a 10-year period. There were no moose at all in Unit 6B, A? Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, no
Yeah.
moose. And they biologists think they just never migrated over there. So they took 24 calves within 10 years, a few at a time. And you see pictures. They've actually, the Cordova Museum released them to me, pictures of the whole town around these calves, right? Mm-hmm. And since then, they've harvested over 6,000.
Oh, Cordova's moosey.
Moosey.
Big
So-
bulls, too.
We don't know if visitors and,
Well, and you wonder what would happen out in the bush when people are out living their life with the moose,
Yeah,
existing.
so we don't know.
we don't know.
But a viewing area would be nice because it's hard to raise money for something you can't see. And I'd like
Yeah.
to share this with the world.
Well, I was noticing on your guys' website you have like the virtual thing, and then I watched some of your guys' YouTube videos. I think that it'd be really cool for the school district to like Because I know during COVID, they was doing a lot of like remote field trips or
sure.
VR things.
Oh, yeah.
That the kids are super into right now, where
for
you
sure.
guys could film feeding them, and now with the kids with the VR, they could go in and do the field trip virtually. So then it's still there, but they're not there.
Explore.org.
Yeah, Fat Bear Week. I mean, that's how I roped my kids into that, and I got here, and I was like, okay, guys, it's Fat Bear Week, and the kids were like, what? And I was like,
they just announced the winner last
come on
night
now.
on the news.
Yeah,
It's either
747.
that or take them
747,
down.
man.
It's either that or take them
747.
down to the Saturday market on a leash, so.
Well, they do that
Yeah.
with the freaking caribou
Right?
that they got downtown. They walk Star every week down there.
Yeah. This moose is different, though.
I wouldn't want to keep the moose year round, because when we had them in September and we were trying to release them and we were trying to collect browse for them, I literally laid on the trailer with the leaves to try to keep them from blowing off
Yeah.
as
'cause
we
they're
were driving.
they're all
And so
dead,
to have it be a pet and live on kibble versus getting a chance to be free.
Yeah.
We want to make this work. We're going to make it work. We're trying to figure it out. I'm not going to give up. The most dangerous animal is not a bear. It's a moose mama. So watch out, guys. I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's a good
Well, that's right in general
analogy,
too.
just in general, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they are. I'm sure everybody's been close to charged or, not to get too close to a mama cow and her calves, right?
Yeah.
Well, we maybe didn't have a technical operation this summer, but we had a mom and a calf hang out a lot. And then there was a bear that hung out.
Oh, it was so funny. Yeah,
It was
we
cool.
Oh, really?
we weren't allowed to have the calves at our facility that we just set up, our permanent location. But we have videos and a picture of a cow actually dropping her calf off for like 7 hours
Yeah.
in our moose pens.
The
and
lighting was
leaving.
really bad, so the videos didn't really turn out. But the calf is hanging out, and I'm trapped in the house, and the other intern's down by the pens, and she's like, "Don't come down here. There's a baby down here, but we don't know where the mom is."
I'm pretty sure the mom knew about us.
Yeah.
Like, I am a single mom. I've got to get to work. I am dropping this kid off. You guys have
She's going to
her.
go lure that bear away,
Yeah.
get that thing
She
out of
showed
here.
up every day. It
Like,
was
you guys got this? All right.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned before
Free daycare.
on where you were dropping off the babies once they're ready to be released back into the wild. How is that decision made?
Typically, by the Department of Fish and Game.
Okay. So you're working with them, and they're like, we think that this is a good area to release these moose.
Correct.
Now, what's their thinking? Is it because the habitat is good and there's not as many wolves or predators there, or is it just like this is the easiest way to
Like,
do
they
it?
picked
you
the
want an
spot,
honest answer?
right?
A what?
Do you want an honest answer?
Yeah, I want an honest answer.
They try to find places where super pack wolves are, and then have me drop them off in between those.
In between. Got
No,
it.
that happened one time.
Okay.
but you should still know where the super packs, the two
You
super
kinda
packs
should.
of wolves are.
You kind of should know where they are.
Well, and for
Oh,
people,
and
that,
then-
real quick, I wanted to
yeah.
just elaborate on the super pack. If for listeners are wondering what that means, that's basically where there's large population centers of wolves, versus like a sporadic pack. It's like a massive.
It's like 13 or
Yeah, it's a
Above
massive
in a pack.
13 is
Yeah.
a super
It's
pack.
a super pack, yeah. And
Which,
those
and I've
things
heard in Russia there's like
annihilate shit.
packs of like 100. Huge.
Yeah.
I think they call it something else.
That really sucks when
Super
you
duper.
spend or
Megla
super
pack.
duper. When
It's a
you-
megla pack.
Yeah, when you spend 4.5, 5 months, 24/7 raising these things,
Yeah.
getting attached, and then being told where to put them, going and tracking them with your 13-year-old son that's put everything into this, and then finding them all just destroyed by wolves, sucks.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah,
well,
that's
that kind of
brutal,
led
man.
into my next question because you talk about tracking them, and then so obviously you're going back out to take the tracker back, and then you find maybe some of them have been eaten or you can't find them. Like what's the?
I started off really good.
Are these collars too? Is that what you're tracking them with?
Two different things. I
Okay.
started off with collars. Like I said, not a whole lot of people do this in the world. I think we're the only ones that release. I've actually helped a place in Canada release a couple of theirs, but we're the only ones that do this. So we actually have these breakaway collars that have they expand. 'Cause,
Okay.
The
So as the
Are you
moose gets
pulling up a
bigger, it
picture,
gets
Erica?
Yeah,
enough so it
yeah.
breaks
I wanna
it breaks
see it.
off.
their necks expand. You know the
Yeah, they get
The
all
girth.
big.
Why don't you send that to Daniel? And you can pull it up.
So it has a special thread that breaks down under UV light, and they break off after like 12, 15 months.
Oh, perfect.
This is
And
them
we
waking
go-
up from anesthesia.
We go retrieve them. The first 2 years took them to 16V, 100% survival. They did great.
Oh, wow.
Got to track them over like bulls.
What year was this?
2015 and 16.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's a
Those
video.
Those are light winners.
This is them waking up from anesthesia.
Waking up from anesthesia,
winners.
you're about to release them. They have the collars on, the breakaway collars on. Oh, what a beautiful video.
Yeah, what a nice day.
It was a beautiful day to quit my job.
And we get in-kind donations from Sportsman's Air Services, Joe Schuster.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And we had a new guy
I mean, those are already
this last year.
big.
Yeah,
Those
they-
are already
dude,
like
this is
4
like,
foot, 5
this
foot
is-
tall.
Yeah.
This has got to be what, like September, mid-September, late September?
1st of October,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
about 450.
Oh, this was just last.
This
week?
was last
Week before
no.
last?
No.
Or-
a year ago.
This is
Oh,
right
okay,
there,
last
Upper
year,
Huffman.
Yeah, here you go.
Right there,
Upper,
Upper
oh,
Huffman.
right,
Yeah,
right,
right.
right there at the trailhead.
Yeah, that's where they're releasing.
Yeah,
these
that's
guys.
at Nunja Lake.
Yeah, Nunja business.
I love that lake.
Okay, so like, so right here after the video stopped and you guys are releasing them and cleaning up or whatever, then do they just run off, or you kind of have to like shoo them off
So they,
because they're so used to being around you by this point?
so biologists have actually proven this, and then we've reproven it, that they do not like leaving the area where they last saw their mom, and that was Erika and I.
Yeah.
And so they stayed around there for quite a while.
We hung out, went to the
waiting for
bathroom,
you.
went driftwooding.
They'll hang out for a few weeks and then split.
Oh, for a few weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks. And they're, like I said, they're not herd animals. Twins will stay together.
Yep.
The rest will split.
Okay.
Oh.
And are they wearing those breakaway collars in this video?
Yeah, they are.
That's the breakaway. Okay. You might have mentioned that earlier, but
So
that's a little
these
bull,
right
isn't
here,
it?
Fishing
is.
game,
2 of them.
they'll go out and recolor them.
Oh, okay.
Once these are done, these colors.
They'll go find them and
Yeah.
and then throw some collars on them and continue to track them. So,
I
essentially,
actually, it's under my permits. I'm actually required to track them once a month for the first 12 months.
oh, okay. So now then the department will piggyback off your moose and continue to study them.
Correct.
Okay, so
re-
there's a
research alone
there's a
is
good
huge.
collaboration in terms of the conservation effort and research effort between you and the department, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But it sounds like there's so much room for growth. Like there should be a Fairbanks chapter, a Saldana chapter.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, absolutely. Because right now we're only allowed to rescue anything south of the range. So we cannot take these north, and north can't come south. And a
Okay.
lot of biologists, we don't want to transfer
Any
different
potential
parasites,
or sicknesses or anything.
right.
like
Even
that.
though they migrate back and forwards. We
yeah, I
don't
mean
wanna
that
promote
seems
it.
fair.
Right. So
I guess,
we do
you
need a
know,
Fairbanks chapter. That might be easier.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, like the Unit 20, massive Unit 20 area is, in my opinion, one of the moosiest, like population centers in Alaska.
Right.
Like Delta, Fairbanks, that whole
Right.
chunk, Summit Lake up, that patch right there in the kind of foothills of the Alaska
Right.
range is just super. Fort Greeley, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
So
I think there's a bigger picture with the moose population, and that's our goal.
well,
right?
and those populations are like really, really good. So there's probably not so much of like a conservation effort in an area like that,
Right.
Necessarily, but
Yeah, the numbers in the census, I track calves once a month.
okay.
And I know where they're at. I've got, a signal on them, and I can't see them. And so I think some of these, the numbers may or may not be off a little bit. I think there should be a census taken by people. Like, okay, how long have you lived here? How many moose did you see 15 years ago? How many do you see now?
Yeah.
If you're a hunter.
They call it citizen research or citizen science, something like that.
And kind of go off of that. But, we look at areas where the population is decreased. I think that the biggest thing that's really hurting us are the wolves. I don't think it's hunting.
Well, and even hunters would have an idea in that citizen research of what's going on. And you kind of don't, I guess, we talked about, I was at a state park in Minnesota, and they had a bat population because of some mold or something, and it got in their nose, and when they were hibernating, it like killed 80% of the bats in Minnesota. And so they were having people come back to count the bats coming out just to get an idea of what the number was. And I was like, man, we should do this for moose, because you don't really realize anything's wrong until you're like, hey, I haven't seen it in a couple years, and you can't just rebuild it.
Yeah,
it's
too late by that
It's too
point.
late, yep. I was going to say the exact same
How
thing.
far would you say when you release them will they go? Like, what's the area?
The
range?
longest,
The range,
they
yeah,
kind of
good
do a
word, thanks.
diamond pattern migration.
Okay.
But the longest we've seen one goes 25 miles.
Okay, that's not that far.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if the food source is good and there's
Why?
some good shelter and you can, kind of get away from the bugs and,
Yeah.
dodge and weave the moose and the wolves and the bears,
Right.
they won't. Why go?
Right.
In the research I read, it was like 15 miles is the normal, but there's not a lot of research out there as far as.
That's crazy.
Well,
that there's
the
not
one
a
that
lot of
went
research.
25 miles, her name was Deb. She was a bitch, man.
Deb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Her name's Deb.
We dropped her off and she just bolted. Like within a week, she was 25 miles away. She's like, I'm out of here. You.
Oh,
Yeah,
fucking,
get away from you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Renegade.
What are some of the other names?
Deb, I like that
Dear
one.
God.
We
of
had
8
Rocky
years.
and Drago last year, and Bullwinkle.
We have a
Okay.
lot of twins.
OG.
So there was like Extra and Tough.
Oh,
There was Run and Evade. There was
Solstice.
Thelma and Louise.
Oh, sweet.
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I see in this photo, you're,
Strictly just for the picture.
so the staples in the back, is that what, can I call them that? Or what are those like in the back? Like the
The crates?
crates. Yeah, is that?
These?
Those are release crates I built.
Okay.
There's no such thing as moose crates, so I have to build everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a time lapse of me building them.
oh, cool.
So what's super cool is they open on both sides. And I've trained them with a whistle to go inside them. Because there is a bucket of reindeer pellets on one side. And with a whistle, in
it's
2
like a
weeks, I
treat.
can train them to all go in there. And then on release day, I have people standing on top of the crates. And once they're all in, shut the doors and don't have to sedate them, which is, they don't stress out, which is super cool.
Oh, that's
Reindeer
nice.
pellets? What is that?
Well, I was alluding to a question. So I saw the crates in the back, but I was looking at, so Erika's feeding them with a bottle, and then there's willows in the ground. So are they eating both of those in that time, or were those for another moose?
No, they eat willow.
They have
all
the
day
browse all day is hanging around just like it would be in
Oh,
nature.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at our facility, we
Oh, you
hang
kind
them.
of see it right here. So, like right here on the side,
Yep.
there's all hanging up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can
got
see
it.
the bar.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so it drops down. And so in between the crates, because we let them hang out in there for shade, but this is a crate training video when they're learning how to not go in the same crate. But it's really cute. When
That
they,
is so-
Oh,
when
but
they,
he's like, I'm going in there anyway.
Yeah.
Let me get in there. Let me get some of that.
Is
Reindeer
that
pellets.
Thelma and Louise there?
that's Rocky and Drago.
Oh,
Rocky.
okay.
I
Two
only have
bulls?
Rocky and Drago. That's all I got.
Oh, that's
It's
your,
just my
that's your
experience.
tenure.
Do they
Yeah.
ever have girl and boy twins? Or are they always the same?
It's always girl boy.
It's always girl boy.
And I have girl boy twins.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
you're meant to
Cool
be the
and
moose
Kayla.
mama.
Coincidence.
But yeah, we hang the browse, and then you can't let it dry out because then it creates tannin, and so they're very finicky. And then I often wonder when they go back in the wild what they are thinking when all their trees are upside down now.
Yeah, when it's changing.
Yeah.
Because we hang them, and then out in the wild they're like this. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to start
They
figuring
probably
out how to
smell
kind of
it and
stand
figure it
up
out.
and get their neck. Oh, yeah. I mean,
There's some
they're-
videos on YouTube about hanging the brows.
Hanging the brows. So it maybe attracts them in there.
Hang in the brows.
What do you think? You know, there's different levels of like the smarts of a critter, right? Like you think about predators and you think about different, you know, apex predators and their level of smartness. Like moose, growing up, some of the old boys that I went hunting with kind of always kind of made me feel like moose were just dumb animals.
Oh, like what's their intelligence level?
Like they're there we go. Thank you. For some reason, I was just like, could not put it together.
What's your smartness?
You see those
Yeah,
70?
yeah.
You see those
Smartest, yeah.
You see those 70 inchers up there that you can never get?
Yeah.
They're smart.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I'm getting at. Like
intelligence level.
their intelligence
They're
level.
smart.
Thank you, Daniel. I just had to sound a lot smarter than that.
Intelligenter?
Intelligenter. Yeah, like
Well, like comparison to like caribou or moose or wolves or bears or predators.
I just mean like, you know, like going after them, hunting them as a child and watching those guys' way of doing it. I was like, oh yeah, they're just kind of like dumb animals. You kind of roust them up or you run into them or whatever. And then as I became an adult and I started doing it on my own and then adopting like, you know, ways of hunting and theories on their behavior and strategies on calling and learning all that stuff, I realized I'm like, oh, hell no. They're incredibly intelligent animals. So number one, they have to elude and evade and survive.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of smarts.
Yeah.
I mean, they're physical, big, fast, all that stuff. But they are strategic in their way of finding food. They're strategic in their way of finding mates. They're strategic in their way of surviving and eluding predators. Like they are
Right.
very smart.
No, they are, but they're all
They
different.
communicate.
Just like humans, there are some of us that are smarter, and some of us
the
are
different levels of education.
So make a fist right now. That's the size of a moose brain, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is
How smaller.
instinct. Okay, so their big nose, their snout, gives them their ears.
Yeah.
Make them different than a lot of mammals, right? And
Right.
a lot of
That's
people
their
think
advantage.
that their big nose is mainly for smell. And it's the way their nostrils are, they have a big line from their nostrils up. That means that they can go underwater and get swamp stuff and not, you know.
We have the water come back up in there.
And
Yeah.
also, the way their nostril works is kind of like a dog that pants. You often wonder, because they're thick. You feel dressed a moose, you know, how
Yeah.
thick their hide is.
Oh, man.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
Well, how are you wearing a fur coat during the summer, right?
Yeah.
Well, the way that they can manipulate their body temperature, kind of like a dog panting, but it's through the nose and through the nostril, and they can regulate their temperature. So a lot of it is instinct, a lot of it is intelligence. But you see those 70 inchers, like go nanny, 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 you can never get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the smarter bulls.
Well, and they're the old bulls that survived a long time because they're smart. They know how
They're
to
smart.
survive.
Those ears are their defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can
a
pivot.
megaphone, they use those
they
antlers.
Can pivot. You can see one ear move and the other not. Like it just surround sound, man. They know you're coming.
Yeah.
They can close their nostrils while they go underwater. So they can just suck in.
They can run 35 miles an hour.
Right. And I've seen one
the breath.
actually. I've
They're
seen
amazing.
one.
They're
I've
amazing.
seen one swim and dive. I saw in Petersville years ago. I was sitting on the lake with my dad, and I watched a cow and a calf go into the lake. It's a small like pond. They would cross. The calf stayed. She went back out. She dove, man, because she went down. And I was like, did she disappear?
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, six seconds. And she popped back up, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I just saw a damn...
Moose dive.
It just reminded me like a lab, you know, diving.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
But
like,
that's
wow.
that's a
They
strategy.
can go under for a whole
I mean, I'm
minute.
like, holy crap.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, full minute.
Think of like water aerobics.
So you put these
right?
things together and observing their behavior and trends, then you're like, you know, you give them, you begin to give them a lot more credit than just being like this big dumb deer
No, they're
animal
smart.
that's like, no, man, they're very, very
And
intelligent.
Do not tell me they don't have emotions.
Right.
Don't tell me that.
Oh,
They do.
for sure.
Well, when you hear them cry, I'm sure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotta be sad.
And they have different sounds.
oh,
Eric
like
and I
between-
speak moose.
Let's hear
calves.
some.
So there's the irritated. And then there's when they're hungry. It's more of a.
And if they're really hungry, it gets long, like
They like drag 'em out.
like a baby, like
Yeah.
when they just
Yeah.
let it
Baby.
wail.
Yeah.
So it's a very vocal animal on top of it, right? Like
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
You think about like calling
When-
a bull
when
moose.
you're
They're
calling 'em in,
glucking
right.
and they're swaying the horns and they're doing the whole thing. And,
And we're always taught.
yeah,
But there are some like crazy chicks out there that are trying to get a little tail. You know what I mean? That,
Oh, yeah.
that man, they go off.
We know about this.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a lot harder to actually hear.
Josh knows about this.
It's a lot harder to hear them, than what you think. Like you don't hear cow moose. Like if you're out moose hunting, you don't hear cow moose calling like all over the place.
No.
Like you
It's
might
only some
randomly
other
hear
guy.
one, or you'll hear them in the middle of the night.
Oh, but
That's
they
the,
do.
the only time I've heard them the most is at night. I've heard them call like those long, elongated, like real, like they pulled the stockings up type
Yeah.
call. Like
Okay. So, you know what we
it's
use?
at nighttime.
The big
Yeah, the bullhorn thing.
bullhorns that we
bull
use
magnet.
to put that to your ear. Put two of them to your ear.
Yeah,
And it's
you got a
100
picture.
times that what they
you got
hear.
a picture on Instagram at the old
Oh yeah, I do.
the old
got you.
wetlands.
I do got a picture of you right there. Right there. There it is.
Yeah, the old megaphone.
there you go.
Damn.
Well, and I'm not a hunter, but I'm out hunting with
wait,
my
wait, wait.
camera.
I'm telling you though.
Was that stand over there in
Yeah.
that field?
Yeah.
Did you guys go up that stand?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Actually,
Rickety.
a guy, I posted that, and then the dude who made the stand
Needs to be shot.
hit me up. No, he made it 14 years ago, and he
It's
told
out
me
of trees. That one?
the one in the trees.
Oh,
That was
out of
with-
trees.
Yes,
With trees?
with 3 trees.
And,
Yeah.
and the center was caved in?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm
Mixed-
not saying he
mixed
should be shot, but I'm just saying he hit me up and said he made that 14 years ago.
Yeah.
But he abandoned it and was going to take it down because people were using it and leaving trash everywhere.
I saw
And
2 cigarette butts. I don't smoke. I saw them.
I don't either. And but he's like, it was so bad, I was going to go in there and clean it up.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. And he asked me, he's like, what does it look like? I said, well, you probably don't want to stand up there. It's like
Dilapidated.
rickety. It's dilapidated, but there wasn't any trash.
Yeah.
I mean, there
No,
was
it
the 2 cigarette butts, but it was clean.
You do a call and the whole thing.
Oh, it's sketchy,
So
dude.
one
I was on the
person
edge of
calls-
it. Like, I'm not going in there.
It
I'm
pi-
ready to jump
it-
off this thing.
Oh,
Carlo went in there, though, didn't he?
Irritated
Oh, yeah.
me so bad. He'd call, and every time he'd call, I'm trying to glass, right?
yeah, just
And you're just
swaying
like,
back
whoa.
and
Yeah, it's
I
like
can't
glassing
see
from a
anything.
boat.
Yeah.
You're just like,
That's really irritating. I have a picture of me from that stand too.
You had a
It's
video,
a cool stand. I think it's a cool stand.
was a cool stand.
It's
I
a
mean,
pretty
it
cool
has
spot.
history. 14 years, man.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
You just need to make
we
it a
should
little
all
more
just pitch in
stable.
and go like stabilize it
Yeah.
Just go
before
rebuild.
someone dies.
Yeah. Well, it's done.
Yeah.
It needs more than, it needs like some
Yeah,
3
that
new
thing-
trees.
You might just get tetanus like looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The nails in
And
it.
did I actually post a
That's
picture
what
of
makes
this stand?
hunting fun, though. You know.
Okay, I did post a picture.
there
Oh,
you
no,
go,
that's
right
on our
there.
story. Oh, no, I did post a picture from the stand if anyone wants
it
to
is.
see it.
Dana.
On Alaska
Dana.
Wild Project.
Behind you.
There it is.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I almost died right there.
And, man, should I say who said it was his stand? I don't know if he wants me to tell.
Remain anonymous. The stand guy.
Yeah. Anyways, he knows. But he built it a long time ago, and I guess he said he has there's actually several stands out around in that area. That's like a thing that people do there.
Been to them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last chance dance.
Did you guys ride your wheelers back in there, or did you walk like we did?
Went to the edge and walked in.
Yeah.
It was wet.
Oh, it was
Fuck,
wet.
it was just
It
like
so
straight
wet.
all water right there.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those steps were sketchy.
Well, man, the winters there are harsh. So if that thing just sitting exposed, ain't gonna last too long.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That looks like an evening.
That was a lot of riding and a lot of hiking in swamp for one little opening. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
It was.
Yeah, for like a very small area overall.
Erica, do you like how we go from raising baby moose
I
to
do.
hunting?
We were talking about the like calls that they all make, and then y'all went into
Yeah.
hunting.
They cry for the mama, and then we
rabbit
kill them
hole-
and eat them.
We
But it
rabbit hole hard.
has been cool to see them out in the wild, even though Dan makes fun of me But it's been cool to see them out in the wild, and they are making the calls.
Erika is really a cool intern. I have had some interns, and they're pre-vet wildlife.
Can you say that again?
You're a really cool intern.
Maybe,
but I've had like vegans, like anti-hunting that come up, and
really?
I'm gonna show you how cool I am.
And this is how I deal with it. I make a big dinner.
There you go.
After they've gotten attached to the calves and they're in it, right? I make a big dinner and then tell them afterwards that was moose.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
And
it's delicious.
And like,
well, I think that's so cool that you also partake in eating them, like, because it's
it was interesting.
It's an Alaskan thing.
You mentioned what your
okay,
nice.
Oh, you're right there.
I'm right there. I could have pet him.
You need to be careful.
No, that's exactly that's what I'm put on our tombstone.
So we have an understanding.
He let you get up in there.
Oh yeah,
super close.
I was right behind him.
Were you making calls or doing anything or grunting?
We saw him walking.
First
in
of
the
all,
woods.
I do not promote this.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to wear my Moose Mama hoodies when I do this. But I do have a really cool picture.
I mean, it's no different than
this was just behind the
Daniel
airport.
going for a hike in Kincaid and then seeing a bull and calling him over. I mean, we all do it if we like doing it.
These were all nature. I mean, I didn't do anything.
Again, not promoting that.
They're just there.
That's beautiful.
So I'm just walking.
Nice bulls.
And there's some other nature photographers, and
I have a question. Back to moose stuff. Who's more vocal at a young age, male or females? Or the same?
I believe the males are. Definitely.
I kind of had them for Mama's Boy, like very needy.
Whiny?
They're very whiny needy. Especially when you start weaning them.
Oh, you can hear them. You can hear them hours beforehand, and you're like, "Oh, did I forget?" And you're like,
"They know when it's feeding time."
The
boys are.
Or when we switch, and it's like now it's every 4 hours.
So how does that work? How does the weaning work?
So we go from 8 times a day, and then in August we start weaning. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 till October. You're only doing one, and you only do one.
And increasing the. Well, I guess you always
increasing the amount. They're still getting the same amount of milk.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, just less time.
Just less time.
But there's probably still feeding more during the day.
More browse.
Then they're eating a lot of browse.
Then the browse runs.
Yeah.
Got it. I need to browse to the bathroom, so we're going to take a quick break.
Time.
Give a shout out to some of the sponsors here. The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day, because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies.
And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
We're back. So, we've talked about, the beginning. We talked about the teeth of it. You're currently, obviously, you have some challenges with facility, right?
Yeah.
So, what I was most excited about for this conversation and this podcast in particular is that what you're doing, I thought, was like one of the coolest things that I've heard of an Alaskan do in a long time. The selfless act and the commitment and sacrifice that you're doing. Let's talk about how we can raise awareness and, bring awareness to.
Can we be moose daddies?
Please.
To funding.
Moose papas. There we go.
Like, how do we, help our cause, the donation, right? There's that opportunity, but like bigger picture, what can we do to help? Like
How can the listeners, what can we do to help, and because we have a lot of listeners, and what can they do to help?
Yeah.
It obviously takes money.
Sure.
We're a 100% volunteer organization.
Yeah.
And so we definitely need money, to feed them, to run the operation. But the biggest thing right now is we need a place to do it. We got a permanent facility. It didn't turn out. And now we're like, what do we do in the spring?
And it's coming up.
Is there some permitting bullshit or something that got in the way?
Yeah, I've been a single mom for a long time, and I've leased places here and there in South Anchorage, a couple years at a time.
Yeah, they had the right plot that you could do the thing with. Yeah.
So for the last 8 years, we've been in South Anchorage. So we finally got a permanent location, set it all up, had a written approval from the community, and our neighbors said nope.
Our permits from Fish and Game, everything worked out
solid.
And the hard part was that because when I moved up, Dana had already talked about she's recovering from surgery, and we're talking like, Dana, I know I moved up here for this, but if you can't do it and we need a year for you to get healthy, then we do it. Yeah. But then we're not going to move it. And we had all the things set because we busted our butt to get everything set up.
32 screws in my back later. So anyway, things happen, a little political, it's Alaska.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
hoops to jump through.
But there are places in Anchorage, and this is the hard part. We're supposed to live on location. We bottle feed every 2.5 hours. We have to have it right there. But there are places in Anchorage. They say light to heavy industrial, which doesn't
behind
really
Sonic.
seem like.
Well, it doesn't seem like you guys need like a wooded area or a grassy area.
Yeah.
You do or you don't?
We do.
You do that preferred.
Well, they're going back into the wild. We need to give them
so you
as
can't
natural
have them
habitat as we can. But there are spaces in Anchorage that have that if we could find one.
What about like teaming up with someone like the Campbell Creek Science Center?
There you go.
Or Alaska Public
We need
Lands,
ideas.
or
we
the
need
zoo,
sponsors. We need
or Parks and Rec.
Or even like what we talked about, like Siri or different things like.
Oh, some of the native
that was going to be my suggestion. Was like there's grants and there's business development opportunities where some local businesses or local entities have gotten support and funding. And I think it's ultimately all about the pitch and like.
Yeah, we'll name it after your grandma if you let us use it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whatever it takes to rescue these babies.
I think you guys should also meet with like SCI Alaska.
Absolutely.
Some of these corporations, some of these things that we just had on the podcast who they got money to fund these type of things.
SCI's Moose Sanctuary.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all for conservation effort at the end of the day. So
absolutely,
it just goes hand in hand.
What about are you guys on Pick, Click, Give with the dividend?
We will be.
Okay.
This year?
Coming up?
Yeah. So we're actually on I
think it's this year.
What is it? Alaska Community
Non-profit something.
we just got a really nice donation from Weaver Brothers, the trucking company.
Okay.
Oh, right
Nice.
on.
Yeah.
Sweet.
One
Yeah.
of the biggest donations we've gotten from them. So that really helps. I cried,
wow.
called them.
Yeah.
I cried at the post office when I opened it. I'm like,
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
so nice. Well, I saw that
that's
on your guys' website. And for those wondering what it is, it's
Moosemamas.org.
moosemamas.org. I did see that you guys had a $20,000 goal.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking is going to
That
take
was
for?
before a facility.
Okay.
It cost about, without getting paid, 100% volunteer, it costs about $20,000 to $25,000 to run it for a
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
which isn't bad for
That's
a
not that
nonprofit.
bad.
No, I mean, it
But
seems
for
like
a facility, gosh, we're needing either a donation, a lease, something. We've found a parcel in Indian, which from South Anchorage, our house
Yeah.
is only, 15 miles away.
a good spot.
So something like that.
I was just about to ask you if you had like any like nibblers. Like, do you have anything in the works? Like, just the permitting stuff is maybe in process, or like.
As long as we find a place in the right zoning, the muni's fine. Fish and game's fine.
Okay.
But we have our own particulars. We don't want it around people. We don't want,
Well, and now you've done it so much, Dana, that you're just you want to move it one more time. And after moving it last,
Oh, okay.
after
Finding
moving
a-
it last
a
year
place.
and then not getting
it
the,
sucks. It sucks to move this thing.
I think I could
bet.
muster
Distancing
it
and
if we
crates
moved
and-
it, and then you had the moose actually in the summer. I'd be more motivated to move it again, multiple times, but.
Well, some of you big
But also,
ballers,
like-
some of these big ballers are out here listening, and you own all these properties
we are a
and
501c3, man.
and all these miles and all
Yeah.
this acreage you have. Like, man, let's go ahead and put up a donation or open up
Right.
this space for you guys.
Well, and we've been looking on Zillow and stuff, and there's 180 acres for $1 billion,
Yeah,
and we need 2.5 or 3 acres. So you get
3 acres isn't bad.
your little spot, and then, you get the dream. Or, Dan and I have a billion different dreams of I manage the property, and she's still at her house, but
Yeah, see,
you got interns that are living there in the summer. I'm living there in the
Almost like
school year
a ranch
to
almost
kind of
type.
manage it and keep it going.
Yeah.
And
there's a difference between having your house with the pins behind you, which is super nice because I have 3 kids. 8 years ago when my kids were little, they were okay sitting in a field all summer.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that they're 15, that ain't happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
got other priorities.
So I got to kind of choose between 2-legged and 4-legged,
I think I saw that somewhere in your statement or
probably in her
something.
bio.
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw
I've
that.
probably
in there
said it too
somewhere.
many times. My kids hate when I say that.
they really do.
Have you guys spoken at all with the Nature Conservancy Center or whatever that is out there by?
Out in Girdwood?
Girdwood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't do it next to them because these are release animals. That's a display permit. We are a release permit, way different,
Okay.
and we have to have it's called a clean facility to where they're not around any bacteria or other animals.
Gotcha.
And that's where part of the permitting comes in, because people are like, what about the, now I'm totally blanking on the conservation
What about
center
the Golden
or
Lion on
different
Thursday?
things like that.
Sonic on Huffman.
How about Upper Huffman?
So
There's lots of room
you
up there.
need Moose Mama's Ranch.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, Moose
Yeah, we
Mama's
do.
Ranch.
Like, that's just a spot.
With
you
a nice
have a huge-
eightplex on there for all the
Well, no,
interns
like what
and
I
the
would
vets.
like. Okay, this is gonna sound kind of like, maybe cliche a little bit, but Yellowstone.
There you go.
Dutton's got his ranch and then he's got his housing. Like, to me, I'm thinking man, you could have a really mega cool
It'd be nice. We
setup where
don't
you
take
could-
much. I was putting her in a tent this summer, so
right just to be on. site.
I lived in a camper this summer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you
like-
had wall tents and bunks and just
Yeah.
temporary setups where you had folks kind of rotating in and out
Yeah.
and helping. And
it's more so weather. And then how are you going to heat the bottles up without getting attacked by a bear when
yeah,
you're
we need
storing
some
the
water
formula?
and electricity. It
So,
really helps.
A toilet, give or take, we could do it. We could do it with an outhouse, but you're gonna want water for the bottles, the formula. If it sticks in the bottles, it's
We've
filmy and
we've roughed up before. We're like coolers and ice.
Yeah, do what you gotta
crap,
do.
crap in the woods. That kind of thing.
sure, yeah, do
Done
what
it.
you have
Everything
to.
for the babies. So that
Yeah.
reminds me. So we call it Moose Mamas because I've actually had some male interns. They don't work out.
Oh, really?
Careful, we're live. They could listen.
I hope they do.
Well,
I
maybe
really
the
hope
one
they
from
do.
There will be
Because
some
at
that hear this.
3
Yep.
o'clock in the morning, I'm challenging you two to see if you can
Oh, okay.
do
I get up at
48
3 to go
hours
hunting.
Moose Papa.
Yeah, exactly.
2 full days, huh?
2 full days, because at 3 o'clock in the morning,
That would be an excellent YouTube video.
most men are
Have you
like,
seen Brandon
this
at
shit
3 in
ain't
the
worth
morning?
it.
I have.
Yeah.
Well, and that's maybe why Dan and I are so tight, because we just never slept,
Yeah.
and you just got up and you just
Let's do it.
and
It's called
You just
trauma
made
bond.
It
trauma,
trauma
exactly.
bond.
Trauma
That's exactly
bond.
what it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when
Sucker.
you're laying in bed and your partner and the baby's crying, and it's like, I got up last time. You get up this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been up since 3 a.m. It's like
we had
it's
that.
just
We had
the,
that.
really the
That's where Dana goes, intern.
Intern. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the intern
yeah.
role.
There you go.
Don't get hit by a bear.
Yeah.
That's what they call sweat equity.
I've been doing this
Get
a
it
long
in.
time. Just the
It's
other
your
day,
turn.
Erica asked me, so how do you choose interns? I'm like, whoever applies.
Yeah.
Suckers.
Yeah.
They usually last in the first 48 hours.
Well, I think it is a great opportunity for anyone that's getting into any sort of wildlife career,
Veterinarian
even
stuff.
teaching, veterinarianism, anything
Is that
like
what it's called?
Veterinarianism.
I just made that up. I like to make up
I'm gonna
words.
write that down.
I said
Erica,
it-
write
I
that
said
down.
it was
Writing
your
it down.
smart.
Smartness.
Let's make it a
Smartness.
question.
The smartness.
We make up words at Alaska Wild Project.
Yeah,
and
veterinarianism.
they actually Google
It's
it.
a thing.
They're a word.
Yep, we just made it up.
And so, Washers Tournament. When is that happening?
Okay, all right. Let's proceed with this. So I think that
First
we could
tournament
raise
to
some
raise
money
money
for
for
Moose
Moose Mamas,
Mamas
yeah.
by having a washers tournament, a 50-50 raffle.
Yes.
50-50 raffle or all the proceeds?
My dream.
No,
All of it.
Let's
Yeah,
say
100%.
well then people got to come to win money or else you're not going to come. So
Maybe
we'll say
they,
a
maybe
50
they could just win merch and the money could go to the babies.
Alaska Wild Project, where dreams come true.
Yes. Okay, so this is
Little
the
Disney
idea.
theme
That's what,
music.
that's what they say.
So the idea is to have a washer tournament, which is kind of like cornhole,
But better.
but way better. And
Man, I
you
gotta
set your
play it
two
first.
teams of two.
gotta
We'll have a
practice.
big bracket system, and everyone will jump in to donate some money.
And we can have it at the Moose Lodge. We're members now.
oh, we are.
Okay, we'll have it
Oh,
at the
wow.
Moose Lodge. We'll do a full thing, fully catered. We can provide moose stew, moose steaks, moose everything.
I
out
cater,
there,
too.
and we can. Oh, perfect.
That's right.
We'll have a nice night,
We'll beat
raise a
people
bunch of
and
money,
cater.
and let's get the goal up.
Woohoo!
All right, perfect.
Love it.
And someone will donate property.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need someone to donate some property.
Yeah.
Somebody's got 3 acres.
Lots of people have lots of acres.
Mm-hmm.
We just need 3.
I mean, maybe, bonus if there's like a little lodge or something on it already.
Yeah.
Water.
That's what I'm saying.
electricity.
Ranch style. Yeah. You know what?
Two words. Tax write-off.
Yeah, exactly. You know what?
Greater
And-
good, saving babies.
For
that
Moose
too.
Mamas, I'm very enthusiastic and confident that like it's probably a timing thing. It's just like things happen for a reason. I know that's like kind of I don't know. That's, some people believe it, some don't. But I just feel like when you're really convicted and you believe in something, like things work out. When you stay with it,
That's the
through
next-
the thick and thin of
That's
it.
that's
like,
the next show. What God's hand in this.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like I had to say it because it's kind of like usually the most successful people have had like some strike of luck or something happened just the where
Right.
the timing was right.
Success is not a straight line, it's a squiggle.
Yeah.
It is, and
Yep,
it's always
that's right,
uphill
that's right.
too, right?
That's right.
So I feel like the work you put in, the years you've put in, the interns and relationships, and the people that you brought awareness to this and that want to help, like it's all going to work out. I
Something's
think.
going to happen. I guarantee you. I've
Yeah.
been doing this, 8 years.
Yeah, keep beating the block.
I've tried to walk away several times.
Oh,
Being
really?
a single mom with 3 kids,
Yeah.
counting quarters
Where
to
it was
buy
just,
food.
It was just too much.
It
Yeah.
was too much, and something always happens. A miracle happens. God provides, and
Something comes
He's like, you got to keep doing this. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
So you did ask what could people do?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So they can
Mentioned that
follow
earlier.
us on social media. We're trying to
Yes.
up that game.
Okay, and the social media is at AK Moose Mamas. All right, on Instagram,
Facebook
Yep.
too.
Facebook.
And
We also
Facebook.
have TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
dude.
Oh,
Get on it.
Hold on, let me get my moves
Tickety.
down.
And then share it. right? Like we'll up our YouTube game a little bit as well. I don't know if YouTube didn't exist when you started out or what.
I think the YouTube would be a big.
It existed, but it's really
YouTube,
prevalent now. I mean,
I was on your guys'
Erika.
YouTube thing. Where was
We
it?
upped our Instagram. I upped the Instagram followers.
Good.
In 2021 because Dana had the Facebook followers, which is probably where more of the money is, but it's easier to share
Moose Mama's right there
if you can
on
have
YouTube.
it everywhere else.
I
So
do the old
I was
social media. She does the new.
I was taking
that's where
the.
the TikTok and Instagram comes in.
I mean,
57 subscribers. This should be 5,000.
right.
kidding.
Well, we got what 1,500. 15,000 on Facebook. I mean, Facebook has the most
have you guys
followers.
heard of? You should connect with. Let me find her on Instagram.
Moose Photo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
We're
our
friends.
friend. I talked to
Anna.
her.
Oh, and she has
Shout out to
thousands of
Anna.
followers. She's huge.
She's raised money for us.
She's been raising money.
Oh, she really?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
she's
Okay.
a-
So
oh,
She's
she's
gonna be
asset.
so happy you said that. We're gonna
Yeah.
tell her.
Gave her a
yeah.
little-
What
gave
is
her
it?
a
Let
little
me look
run.
her up again real quick.
Moose
'cause
Photo
yeah, Moose
with an
Pho-
F.
With the F. That's right.
She was gonna come visit this summer. And
We didn't have any moose.
didn't have any moose.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Anna.
Okay. She's huge. 101,000 followers.
Right. So we've upped our following game,
Oh, look at the albino moose.
and
I've had dreams of an albino orphan.
Okay, so yeah,
I also found another guy, Moose Blue or something, followed me the other day, and he had a picture of you, Dana, like feeding the babies, and I was like,
Bless you.
"What?"
stealing
And
our
they're
stuff,
all the pictures are like stolen pictures, and they're like photo cred, and I'm like, "What?" So I like photo credit Moose Mamas, but I was like, "There's people out there that are doing."
well, you guys
stuff.
have a really good start.
Yeah.
You have a really
Yeah,
good foundation.
I mean, you laid the groundwork for how to do it.
Yeah.
I think after the show comes out, you'll probably get several more followers. Hopefully, some sort of lead.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That was my main thought on this
Thank
whole.
you.
When we had that conversation, I was like, man, this is a cool opportunity for us, and what we really wanted to, one of the little parts of like the big picture of Alaska Wild Project was to bring awareness to cool shit that like people maybe in our local level know, but like we can expand it, and so that's where I was like, man, I feel like this needs to be known. People need to know about it.
100%.
And
Everyone loves
there's
moose.
somebody out
Who
there
does
with-
not love moose?
There's somebody out there with deep pockets and some property that would be like, oh shit, I would be more than happy to donate it. He doesn't know. She
Right.
doesn't know. The family, whatever it is,
Exactly.
doesn't know. So
Yeah.
it's like, you just got to find the right person, the right timing
Right.
of it.
Right.
Yep.
And
Well, let's
I
set the
feel like it's
parameters
there,
then.
man.
If someone has a property, would we be able to go as far as Palmer and down to Girdwood? Is that the parameters?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
I
won't
mean,
say
the
no.
Closer the better.
Closer the better to
You know,
Anchorage,
Yeah.
but like you would be willing to go to the Butte. If someone's
I mean,
like,
we're not
hey.
willing to say no until we see it,
Yeah.
right? What if it's perfect?
Well, I would think that all opportunities are on the table at this point.
Exactly.
To like,
Oh, absolutely.
right, logistics we
absolutely.
can worry about a little bit later.
We
'cause it's a
can,
big
we can
deal, but
convince
like,
Dana later she can drive further
I
from
mean,
her house.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just like the motherland and you can like spend nights out there, I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
and live there part time.
The motherland.
The motherland.
Oh shit,
Ooh.
the motherland.
If
There
it's
it
the
is.
motherland, then there's a nice stream with fish in between feeding.
Now
Now you get
now you're
little,
getting picky.
get a little
Okay.
picky. Let's start with some really good willows.
I'm a girl.
There you go, willows.
You know,
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in and
We
talking
can't
with us.
thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any Alaskans that are interested in this, it's AK Moose Mamas on Instagram. The website, once again, is moosemamas.org. Take a little bit of your money, even $5 helps. Do a little donation. What about the merch?
Coffee for a calf.
Yeah, moosemamas.org. You can buy some hoodies, some hats.
Those are great looking
Gotta
hoodies.
sport 'em. We've sold them around the world. We have people in front of the Eiffel Tower sporting them. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Go to the YouTube page, Moose Mamas. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Let's do some good things for moose because it's good for everyone. I mean, everyone that listens to this, either you love looking at moose or you love eating moose.
Absolutely.
We all want.
You live in Alaska.
You live
if
in
you don't like
Alaska.
moose, you should move.
Yeah.
well, you mentioned something in your bio information. It is one of our largest like natural resources as far as a meat source. I mean, we can always go to Costco and buy beef and the whole thing, but
until you can't.
As far as like a truly natural harvest where you get a substantial amount of meat that truly feeds you and your family and clan and your group.
Moose are the healthiest red meat there is. It's healthier than bison.
Right.
So.
I mean, for the true organics of it, like there's so many positives in terms of helping the overall cause and population health of moose in Alaska, Yukon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched on indigenous culture, where
that's
when a moose population goes down in a rural setting,
it impacts the human.
Yeah, you got to move.
Yeah,
especially if it's
suicide, domestic violence, and substance abuse goes up.
Yeah, because there's more suffering.
Yeah. There's a lot of that's what got me going.
That's a whole nother angle of the importance of the natural resource.
Huge.
I mentioned earlier. It is a real thing here in Alaska, and it will be even that much longer for our next generations with folks actually doing something about it.
Yeah.
With moose mamas.
Yeah.
So
get on the pick, click, live.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. It's been an honor being here.
Fun
you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And, look forward to beating you in washers.
Hell yeah.
No, we're gonna set that up. We're gonna set up the washers tournament.
Yeah.
We do host a annual meat party for all our guests and all our close friends and family, and I think that would be the perfect place to actually do the tournament. One of the events that happens at the tournament. Now that I'm thinking about it,
so you guys bring the whole shebang to the meat party, and then we'll have like a bazillion.
There'll be hundreds of people there,
all love it, and more than willing to invest. In it too. So. Yep. Great idea,
we better
Daniel.
come home and practice.
Dana does art too, so if you need to...
Just make sure you guys' calendar's good in like April.
April.
Perfect. And this will be preseason for you.
Yeah.
That's right. Get you a facility, we'll get you rolling.
Perfect.
But
It's like a baby shower.
There you
go. There you go.
Moose Mama baby shower.
Close us out, B.
Yeah, man. Hey, so merchandise we were talking about earlier, we just got a bunch of stuff in. Just restocked Barney's Sports Chalet. He's got all of our hoodies, T-shirts, hats. He's got a nice display down there. So that's open and available. Check out patreon.com.
/ Alaska
Wild Project. That helps us. We talk about donating, growth. Check us out. Obviously, all the social media platforms. Like it, subscribe it, do the whole nine. And for sure, check out what will be our latest episode with Moose Mamas, episode 85.
Thanks for listening, Alaska. Stay wild.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th, handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.